All right, so would you like to introduce this beer?
Sure, I will. This beer, for me and my close group of friends, requires no introduction. It is legendary. It's infamous, in fact. We have had many, many times with this beer. In fact, we've had one at taste vomit. We have had that once.
Someone did that, yeah.
We've had a later on vomit, I believe, of yours.
Maybe.
Because we were doing taste tests, and afterwards he was willing to drink the whole thing. So this is a beer that has a lot of memories for us, and we haven't tried it in about 5 years. Now, our palates have gotten a lot different in the past 5 years, and just things have changed a lot in that realm. So you are witnessing history, ladies and gentlemen. This is the first time we have cracked open a Skull Splitter ale from the Orkney Islands in Scotland in about 5 years now. It has to have been at least five.
I was 16 when we had it last.
21.
Yeah. 21.
Always 21.
Always 21.
Now you're 26 now? 20
I believe so. I'm approaching.
Yeah, 26 years old. I am 32.
For all you cops watching.
Okay, so anyways. Orkney Skull Splitter. It's his. I'm going to let him bust it open. This is the first time we've done this. This is going to be a treat.
We're out on a whim here. We're on a whim.
It's hard to find this stuff. You can't just find it at like Total Wine down the street or anything. Yeah. It is.
You go to Scotland.
We went to Scotland and we picked up some Skull Splitter.
All right. Let's see how it pours, gentlemen.
This ale doesn't necessarily have to be poured like a Belgian ale or a. It is a specific type of style. It pours kind of like a heavy Scottish ale or lager rather would. And I believe this is an ale. I believe.
Yeah. Yep. Orkney ale apparently.
Yeah, it's Orkney ale. So this will be interesting. Always a good thing I always do is swish around the last 1/8 to 10th of the bottle. Swish it around. If it's a living beer, such as the Belgians, it gets the yeast out. And even if it's not living, it helps the head out quite a bit, which, as I talked about in an earlier episode, gets the flavor profile way more in front. So, it's your beer. You go for it. He's scared, I think.
A little bit frightened. I think it's a really good ale, actually.
Okay. All right.
I actually like it. It's not great, I don't think.
How did we hate this?
Right.
I mean, that's not bad.
It was purely our lack of palate.
This is it's very malty. Mm-hmm. Very, very malty.
I actually like that. And in a soon installment, we should do sandwich walls. For sure.
It has that malty characteristic of sandwich walls.
Right. And I actually love that.
That's actually kind of on the borderline. It reminds me in a lot of ways of a Doppelbock.
Yeah.
8.5% alcohol, so we have proven that the palate can just soar if you want it to, if you try. They invite us to sit back in time and enjoy a unique taste of Scotland.
Well, I'm enjoying it now, actually.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Yeah,
it's really funny because I did that with sandwich.
With sandwich sauce, we did the same thing. This sandwich sauce is a
beer.
You
haven't had it in so long, right?
I haven't. I have not had it recently. I have not.
Well, we'll do that in a coming episode.
I would like to do it tonight. It is 14% alcohol though, and
we have 2 or 3 laying around.
We do. What the hell is going on around here?
My bad.
All right, so. Time for the verdict, I guess. I think that it actually... I'm going to give it one more whiff and one more.
Yeah. One more.
It's got a nice, just,
I noticed when I actually, drink it, actually take a slow sip, I can taste a lot more, too.
Mm-hmm. If you swish it around, you can, too.
Yeah.
Don't just swallow it straight back.
Yeah.
It's got a malty, velvety texture. It's very smooth. It's 8.5% alcohol, and it's a very smooth drinking 8.5% alcohol. Usually the style is not my favorite thing in the world, but I definitely do like that ale, and I'm going to give it about an 86, about a B right on the average B. It is good. I mean, it's 86, 87, somewhere in that area. It's surprisingly for me, right up there with the prior beer I reviewed, the Ockel Blonde. It's not quite as good, I don't think. Not quite as complex. Definitely not as complex.
No.
But it's good. It's good ale.
It's funny how big of a change you can have.
Yeah,
because I mean, going from wanting to barf to enjoying it.
No, not going from. I'm talking about he puked.
Muck did barf. Right?
The story was we always did beer tastings. We always had a great time sitting out on our back deck doing different beer tastings. We'd go to stores and just grab.
And mind you, we pretty much wanted to taste like candy.
Yeah, candy or skunk was pretty much the two tastes we were. You know, I mean, we were young kids in a heavy metal band. We were used to Heineken,
woodchuck cider,
and at the time we were drinking things like just typical lagers that are some of which are okay still, but yeah, these guys drinking woodchuck and Smirnoff Ice and things like that. So this was obviously a departure. We saw the picture, and this guy wanted it, so of course we were all skeptical.
Look at this picture. You wouldn't want that. It's a fucking Viking.
Well, we were all skeptical. We were all skeptical, and when we tasted it, I remember being disgusted and wanting to spit mine out, but I swallowed it. And our little friend, we call him Mucky. If anybody's played video games in the Final Fantasy realm, they might know who we're talking about here. He was sitting next to me, and at the taste of it, stood up, said not a word now, stood up, went to the side of our deck, and he said, initially, spit it off the side of the deck, which I was thinking, why would you just spit it back into your cup? He came to me later, and drunker, and said, I've got to admit something to you. I puked off the deck.
Because at the time, puking was like... It was like, you don't...
Yeah,
it's like a sin or something. It was like...
Because we were real tough guys then.
Well, right, yeah.
So anyways.
And I was known as the puker, so... He didn't want to become the puker.
Right. So, revisiting a very historical point in our lives, B, solid ale. Good ale.
I'd say C+ for me.
C+?
Yeah,
really?
I mean, I like it.
It's just for 8 point. Think about the alcohol percentage, 8.5%. It's not.
Yeah, I mean,
it's packing a punch.
That's nothing to sneeze at with an ale.
No, it's packing a punch. So
yeah, yep. There's the skull splitter.
Do a little of my alcohol left.